The whole empire was built at Manchester City for Guardiola, and he has now moved on. And the other thing that was really striking from what he said today was about the charges, and in essence is nothing new. We've heard Khaldoon Al-Mubarak say this before, that he is desperate to talk about the charges from a Manchester City perspective, but even 18 months or so after that hearing concluded, we're still none the wiser as to a ruling from the Premier League. So while we wait, the chairman, the club cannot speak, but there is a promise that as soon as we do get that ruling, which we may still get this summer, we will hear from the Manchester City chairman on the record.
The strategic masterstroke that City's board envisioned when hiring Maresca has quickly devolved into an exercise in crisis management. Instead of implementing his fluid, possession-based philosophy on the pitch, the Italian manager spent his opening weeks fielding relentless questions from the press regarding the potential structural collapse of the club. The optimism that usually accompanies a fresh managerial tenure has completely evaporated, replaced by a dark cloud of athletic and financial uncertainty. Transfer heartbreak and missing stars. Maresca's disappointment is deeply rooted in the club's sudden inability to finalize crucial summer targets that were meant to spearhead his tactical revolution. Chief among the missing components is the heavily anticipated Anderson deal, which was widely expected to solidify the spine of City's midfield. Due to the sudden imposition of strict financial constraints and looming regulatory penalties, negotiations collapsed at the 11th hour, leaving a gaping void in the center of the pitch. The collapse of the Anderson transfer sent shockwaves through the sporting department, exposing the harsh reality that Manchester City is no longer an attractive or viable destination for top-tier talent amidst ongoing legal battles. Agents and representatives who were once eager to sit at the negotiating table are now steering their clients away from the Etihad, fearing the imminent threat of multi-year transfer bans and automatic relegation. Adding to the tactical headache is the absence of Sandro Tonali, whom Maresca had earmarked as the ideal deep-lying playmaker to dictate the tempo of his system. With the club unable to provide the necessary financial guarantees or offer a stable long-term project amidst the ongoing sanctions, the Italian midfielder remains out of reach. This leaves the squad dangerously thin on elite creative options just as the grueling campaign gets underway. Without Tonali's press-resistant qualities and exceptional vision in the middle third, Maresca's tactical blueprint looks fundamentally compromised. The manager has been forced to rely on aging veterans and unproven academy graduates to plug holes in a midfield that used to terrorize European opposition. The tactical drop-off has been stark, leaving the team vulnerable to counterattacks and incapable of maintaining their hallmark dominance in possession. Furthermore, Manchester City's failure to secure a top-tier winger has left their attacking front looking uncharacteristically toothless. Maresca's system relies heavily on dynamic, wide forwards capable of stretching defenses and winning isolated one-on-one battles. Without this vital recruitment, the squad lacks the explosive width that defined their previous successes, forcing the manager to rely on compromised tactical adjustments. The search for a world-class winger was supposed to be the crowning achievement of the club's summer window, but the escalating financial freeze brought all scouting operations to a grinding halt. Targets who had expressed a strong desire to play under Maresca have chosen alternative destinations, citing the club's unstable future as a primary deal-breaker. Consequently, City's attacking patterns have become predictable and easily stifled by lower-tier opponents. As the new season commences, the contrast between the star-studded Manchester City of old and Maresca's current, depleted roster is stark. With key targets missing, a restricted pathway for emergency signings, and a demoralized squad, the club faces an uphill battle just to remain competitive. The unfolding crisis at the Etihad has transformed what should have been an exciting new chapter into an exhausting exercise in damage control. Ultimately, the self-inflicted wounds of the past have caught up to the modern giants of English football, leaving their new manager to fight a losing battle with limited resources. As fans look on with increasing anxiety, the overarching question remains whether Manchester City can ever recover from the backfiring of the 115 charges, or if this marks the definitive end of an era.